Strength is often imagined as speed, impact, or visible dominance. But in biology, those signals rarely define what actually lasts. In Yellowstone, power does not announce itself through action. It stands quietly in mass and structure, embodied by the grizzly bear. This animal is not built to perform for brief moments. It is built to endure, carrying extreme body mass in a way few land mammals can sustain for long periods. Here, power is not measured by how fast the body moves. It is measured by how much continuous stress the body can absorb without structural failure. Every kilogram of the grizzly's body creates constant pressure. Survival depends on systems designed to carry that load continuously. There is no display here, no demonstration. The power of the grizzly exists quietly, whether the body is in motion or completely still. To understand what power really means in biology, the grizzly bear forces us to shift attention away from action and toward long-term resilience. The grizzly bear's body is not scaled up for speed. It is scaled up to carry weight, operating as a system designed to tolerate constant load. At this size, mass becomes a permanent condition. Every movement places sustained pressure on bones, joints, and connective tissue. The skeleton compensates by becoming denser and thicker, prioritizing structural strength over lightness, so vertical forces can be supported continuously without deforming the frame. Joints are reinforced for stability rather than extreme flexibility, reducing wear and lowering the risk of failure under repeated stress from the bear's own body weight. Here, muscle mass serves a structural role rather than a display of strength. It absorbs shock, stabilizes movement, and shields the skeleton from repeated overload during everyday motion. Because of this design, balance consistently takes priority over agility. The grizzly's body moves as a single controlled unit, minimizing stress across joints and connective tissue. Rapid acceleration would push forces beyond safe margins for a body of this mass. The system avoids speed to preserve long-term structural integrity. Energy is not spent on short bursts of performance. It is crucial to keep this heavy biological system operating reliably without mechanical breakdown. In this way, mass itself becomes an integrated working system, distributing stress evenly so the body can function predictably day after day. For a body this massive, speed becomes a liability rather than an advantage. Rapid movement multiplies force, raising the risk of structural failure. The grizzly does not lack the ability to move quickly. It avoids speed because control and stability are more valuable than acceleration for a body of this scale. Every fast movement would amplify stress through bones, joints, and soft tissue, creating force spikes that the system is designed to prevent. Instead of speed, the body prioritizes stability. The center of mass stays low, reducing the chance of imbalance or sudden impact. Direction changes are slow and deliberate. Momentum is carefully managed so the body never exceeds forces it cannot safely control. This approach conserves energy while protecting the structure. Power is preserved by avoiding unnecessary mechanical stress across the body. Speed creates spectacle, but it also creates instability. The grizzly's design removes spectacle in favor of long-term reliability. By staying slow, the body remains predictable in how forces move through it. That predictability keeps internal stress within limits that the system can safely tolerate. This is power without speed, a biological system designed to operate under constant load, prioritizing stability and endurance over visible motion. In biology, systems fail at their limits. The grizzly bear survives by operating far from those edges, maintaining a wide margin of safety. Every structure in the grizzly's body is built with excess capacity, allowing physical stress to be absorbed gradually rather than transferred directly into damage. Bones, muscles, and connective tissue share mechanical load across the body, preventing any single component from being pushed close to failure. This distribution protects the system from sudden shocks, whether caused by uneven terrain, shifts in balance, or unexpected external force. Because stress is spread rather than concentrated, minor strain rarely escalates into system-wide breakdown or long-term instability. Operating below maximum capacity reduces cumulative wear, allowing the body to function reliably over long periods without degradation. In this context, power is not defined by peak output, but by resilience when conditions are uneven, unpredictable, or imperfect. The grizzly's body is optimized for irregular stress patterns encountered in the wild, rather than controlled conditions or ideal performance scenarios. By maintaining a wide margin of safety, the grizzly avoids failure, not through constant strength, but through sustained structural tolerance. For a body this large, energy is not optional. In Yellowstone National Park, the grizzly bear survives by treating energy as a finite resource that must be carefully managed. Every movement carries a metabolic cost for a body of this size. As mass increases, unnecessary motion drains energy quickly and reduces long-term stability. To avoid that loss, the grizzly limits activity. Motion is deliberate, reserved only for moments that justify the expenditure. This restraint allows energy to be stored rather than spent impulsively. Reserves accumulate gradually, supporting survival when conditions become unpredictable. Metabolism supports this strategy by favoring efficiency over speed. Power is sustained by conservation, not consumption. Energy that is not wasted becomes a buffer against uncertainty. It allows the body to endure periods of scarcity without immediate failure. This energy economy allows the grizzly to tolerate long gaps between favorable conditions, maintaining internal balance without slipping into metabolic failure. Without this discipline, sheer size would quickly become a liability. Mass demands restraint and control, not constant performance or visible effort. Energy management forms the foundation for the most extreme adaptation of all, one that allows the body to slow, stop, and remain intact. As winter approaches in Yellowstone National Park, external energy disappears. Food becomes scarce, movement costly, and exposure increasingly dangerous. The grizzly does not resist this season or attempt to outlast it through constant movement. Instead, it prepares to reduce activity in a controlled and deliberate way. Hibernation is not sleep. It is a precisely regulated metabolic state where energy use is reduced while critical biological systems remain protected. Heart rate drops dramatically during this phase, slowing circulation while maintaining enough flow to preserve organs and prevent tissue damage. Body temperature is carefully controlled during hibernation, lowered just enough to conserve energy while remaining stable enough to protect cells, enzymes, and vital chemical processes. Unlike most mammals, the grizzly does not lose significant muscle mass during months of inactivity, preventing the weakness that would normally follow prolonged immobility. Bone density is also preserved throughout hibernation, allowing weight-bearing structures to remain intact despite the absence of movement or mechanical load. Waste products that would normally accumulate to toxic levels are recycled internally, allowing organs to function safely throughout months of metabolic slowdown. For extended periods, the grizzly consumes no food and drinks no water, relying entirely on stored energy without triggering systemic failure. This is power expressed through control rather than action, where the body can slow almost completely without losing structural integrity or internal balance. Most large bodies fail when systems slow too far. The grizzly survives by slowing only what can be safely reduced, while critical processes remain protected. Hibernation is not the absence of power. It is the most extreme demonstration of it, revealing how much stress a body can endure by doing almost nothing. Most animals fail when their systems slow too much. At this scale, stopping usually means breakdown, not survival. A grizzly bear is different. Its body is designed to slow without collapsing, maintaining internal order when motion nearly disappears. This reframes what power means in biology. It is not defined by output or intensity, but by how much stress a system can tolerate without losing stability. Power is measured by how much strain a body can endure while preserving structure, balance, and essential function under prolonged pressure. For the grizzly, survival depends on operating far from failure thresholds, rather than constantly approaching the limits of performance. This strategy favors longevity over spectacle, stability over motion, and endurance over brief displays of strength. The landscape does not reward visible power or dramatic force. It rewards systems that continue functioning when conditions become unpredictable. The grizzly does not dominate its environment through action. It persists within it, shaped by biological limits rather than defying them. Here, power is quiet. It is found in control, restraint, and the ability to remain intact when conditions turn harsh. In this sense, the true power of the grizzly bear is not what it can do, but what its body can survive without breaking.